My hands are shaking. I've literally just had to... Oh my god, I'm shaking. I have my hormones up. I lived my life as a trans woman for 3.5 years, and I had medicated for 9 months of those. I had a goal and I had a vision of having breast augmentation and changing certain parts of my body. I wanted to live my life as a woman. So for me growing up, I kind of always felt a little bit different. I mean, I was mixed race, I was brought up in like a white community, and you know, it's very feminine in many ways. So for me, there was not a place where I felt like I fully fitted in. So the whole thing around gay shame, for me, it definitely manifested itself out into many different ways. And you know, I took up drag, like that was perfect escapism for me to be as gay as possible, to be as loud as possible, and to be as in your face as possible. But to do that behind like the most biggest mask ever. Drag was such a comfortable place for me. It felt so comfortable for me to be in, and I was able to escape from Calvin, and that then led into gender questioning and discovering more of my gender.
So these are some of the drag outfits that I've collected over the years, and even some of them are stuff that I wore when I was identifying as trans. It was all about like the kind of the extension, the over-exaggeration of what it was to be a woman. So I had like the big hair, you know, I was wearing like a lot of wigs, and actually the further down the route of my transition I got to, I noticed how it just, you know, it really softened, and it was more about like blending into society.
As you all know, I started on my hormone treatment, which was last Monday, the 30th of November. I have now been on HRT for just over a week, and I've had a few changes. After seeing the doctor and stuff, and you know, me saying, okay, this is the decision that I want to do, I'm going to transition. There was a long waiting list, you know, to get to a gender identity clinic, and a lot of girls that I knew, trans girls, were self-medicating. So I took it upon myself to self-medicate. You know, I'd looked in what I was taking, how I was taking it, discussed it with my doctor, and I, you know, went on my own trip to do that. I created this kind of online persona, let's just say, and I started kind of doing these funny videos and everything else.
My boobs. Oh, fuck off, Barry, you always say that. My boobs look good. Oh yeah, they're gonna fucking love that one, tell you, aren't they? Oh, yeah.
I was very open, I was just very open to other people about who I was, my journey, and you know, exploring myself. Facebook was a huge addiction for me when I look back on it. One of the biggest ones was when I came out as transgender to my mum, and I'd done that without her knowing that I was filming her.
Yeah, my mum's on the way back from work, and I'm kind of waiting for her to get home. Oh my god, I'm so fucking nervous. Right, the past couple of weeks, I've been going to the doctors and that.
Yeah.
So you might as well just read the first bit anyway. I just want boobs, that's...
Why?
Why? Because I feel comfortable with that, and it's to do with gender identity and finding out what it is, because I don't identify myself as being a man or a woman. So that's...
What happened for the boobs look good, is it?
Well, that's why I'm going to see a psychiatrist to talk more about it, so I'll learn more about it.
Quite uncomfortable to hear. It's uncomfortable to hear the language that I'm using. I haven't got a clue what I'm saying. There's this sense of I know what I want, but I don't know why I want it. And you know, I'm sat there and I'm like, just this confused kid that has got no idea what I'm doing. And I'm like putting myself out there to the world. I'm being congratulated for not having a clue about what I'm doing. I've not watched that video back over. I don't watch a lot of my videos back over just because it's a time and place and it's what happened then. I don't really like to look too much into it. I also cringe as well, to be honest with you.
So there you go.
When I look back at when I came out as trans, and when I really look back at it, it was such a liberating part of my life. It was a part where got an opportunity to recreate. I got an opportunity to start again. Well, I believed I had an opportunity to start again, and that everything that had happened in my past could just be erased, and that was it. A lot of things were happening for me at the time. You know, people were interested in me. There was a sense of me belonging. There was a feeling of people wanted me. People wanted me for something. Men were more attracted to me. I got all of those feelings and those wants that I felt like I always wanted. But those feelings, you know, they never lasted. I took time away and tried to discover myself a little bit more and to understand myself a little bit more. And the expectations of who I wanted to be didn't fulfill in those ways. I decided to detransition 5 years ago. And when I went public with my decision, you know, I felt as if I was cancelled from the community. People didn't want to know me. You know, I'd lost friends. Places that had welcomed me before, you know, they were now closed off. I was rejected by the community who has embraced me before. Definitely wasn't like an overnight job. I was at it for like 3 months, and it was just putting it all into one. You know, I still to this day stand in the mirror or sit in the mirror and I get ready and I look at myself and actually see the beauty of myself. So the last 5 years for me has been more so about figuring out who Calvin is, learning more about the conditions that were put on me as a child, knowing that in the ways that I acted and the ways that I was doesn't necessarily mean that I was a man or I was a woman. The kind of whole healing journey for me is always about going within to understand myself a little bit more.